Popping the question has gone new age these days. Instead of the guy getting down on one knee, some women are giving their man a diamond ring. The question is, does it work? We asked some New Yorkers how they feel about man-gagement rings.
I don't know how I'd feel about you getting on one knee in the middle of a restaurant, but yeah, why not?
I think that'd be weird.
You know, I deserve something nice too.
You know, physical representation of a relationship is fine, but I'm more into it for the emotion.
I'd want to be proposed to as opposed to proposing to someone.
I'm kind of old school, I guess, so I'm not real into it. I wouldn't do it, personally.
If it was like an anniversary or something like that, but for marriage, no, the guy has to propose.
Interesting concept, to say the least. Joining us now, Details Magazine senior editor Ian Daly and Cooper Lawrence, syndicated radio host and author of The Cult of Celebrity. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Morning.
Ian, what is going on?
Well, I think new things are going on. It's women are pretty equal, making the same amount of money. Why not?
Okay. You wrote about this in the most recent issue of Details. What do you guys think about it?
Yeah, I think with most things, it depends on who you ask, but I think people are keeping an open mind about it, and you know, I think it's flattering. It's always nice to be asked.
Yeah. Oh, as we take a look at, we do have some man-gagement rings right here, and we can take a look at some of them. Cooper, we should explain, this is not necessarily a new concept, right?
No, this actually started in World War II. When men would go to war, they would be in the foxholes, and they wanted something to remind them of their betrothed. Now, I don't know that the rings were this elaborate, but they did have something on their finger, and that's really the where it all started.
These are pretty elaborate. I mean, there are diamonds in some of these rings, there are jewels, whatever else. I mean, this is not a simple ring necessarily. Here's my question about it. Is there a reciprocal sort of thing? Like, does the man get one and the woman, or is it just in some cases?
We talked about this in my radio show last night, and I was amazed at how many men called and said, yeah, I have a man-gagement ring, and it's the same ring that I got for my spouse or spouse-to-be, and they got matching rings, and I asked them why, and they said, well, because I want to say to the world, I'm taken. And they're in jobs where there's a lot of women around, and they want to say, back off.
Okay, and then after you get married, does the man-gagement ring stay on, Ian, or does it come off?
See, that's the interesting thing. There really isn't a set tradition for this the same way there's a set tradition for women's engagement rings. And so people do it all different ways. I mean, sometimes the guy will take it off, and he'll just have it as a keepsake when he puts his actual wedding ring on. Other times he'll just take it off for the day of the wedding, put it back on, and it becomes his wedding band. So there's a lot of different ways to do it.
Just don't wear it around your neck and a chain.
An enormous gold chain.
There are other ways to show your love.
Cooper, jewelry stores say this is a trend that is growing, shockingly enough, that they are interested in selling more. But is it? I mean, you see it more?
I do see it more, but here's what's interesting. You know, it's a misnomer to think that it's a way to sell more jewelry, a way to sell more diamonds. Most of the people that I spoke to on the radio show were going and buying $15 rings at flea markets. They weren't really buying these elaborate rings and spending that much money.
Just shows you are committed.
Men are not going to show their rocks off. You know, it's not about the size of their rock, so.
Fair enough. All right.
I think you can get away with less money.
I'm just saying, wow. All right, Ian Daly and Cooper Lawrence, thank you both very much.
Sure.
Maggie, over to you.
Ian's going to watch that back and go, did I really say that? Okay, so what do you guys think about man-gagement rings?
You know, I'm a traditionalist. I think it's kind of silly.
I don't know any guy who would wear one. I mean, maybe there's some out there. According to the radio show host, a lot of people called her show last night, said I have one. I don't know any guy.
A good general rule for me, and I don't know if Julie will agree, the less jewelry on a man, the better.
Yeah, I agree. You don't want to see, you know, too much shine or glitter. It gets a little bit cheesy. You know what I'm saying?
It reminds me of this the '80s. Julie, you're Miss Pop Culture. What were they? Those Spidell bracelets that everyone wore. You know, the men in the. Don't tell me you don't know this.
Oh wait, no, not the ID ones.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Spidell ID bracelets.
Well, it's not the '80s anymore.
No. Well, that's
Dave's like
great
hiding his.
me
You
this
mean
morning.
I'm not supposed to be wearing this?
Right. I'll take that off later today.
How would you feel if a woman proposed?
That's a different story. That's great. Why not?
Okay. It's just the ring that bugs you. Jeff?
Yeah, I just.
I probably wouldn't do it, but to each his own.
Sure.
Oh, you ought to run
That's
for office.
politically correct.
I was going to say. Congressman Jeff Glor, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. I mean, it doesn't matter. If anyone wants to do it, great. It's just not. It's just kind of a strange trend. I think it's a plot to sell more rings.
Yeah. If men want to wear it and show off their rocks, that's fine.
Don't be fooled by the rocks that I got.